The Qatar Economic Forum was, all big, Middle Eastern states discussing, and he came on, and it was an interesting. It was just to me the ultimate version of like a globalist, mouthpiece. Just went full. She just went full mainstream media, anti-MAGA attacks, and it was she was so passive aggressive, and it was a shame. She was a very smart woman, but she was a master manipulator and a tremendously talented interviewer. But she used her powers for evil, in my opinion. But I thought Elon kind of kept his dignity, and he kind of went head-to-head with us. So the first clip is a long one. It's 3 minutes. Are you okay with a 3-minute clip?
We could cut it if you want, if it gets to the point, because I did hear this part. I was listening to it as well, where Elon talks about the activist judge. He gets kind of, questioned on it. Yeah.
And so if we want to roll that and just discuss it, we can.
Yeah, this is cut number 10. This is Elon and, speaking at the Qatar Economic Forum, cut 10.
But I'm confident that whatever some activist posing as a judge in Delaware happens to do will not affect the future compensation.
This is the judge who twice struck down the $56 billion pay package that was awarded to you. I think the value on the current value of stock options. Yeah. Not
a judge. The activist who is cosplaying a judge in a Halloween costume.
So we can pause it there for a second. Cosplaying. Yes. This is like what makes him great. He doesn't care anymore either. Nope. And throughout this whole interview, he actually legitimately starts to attack the typical mainstream, nonsense.
Yeah,
so,
the media, the narrative. But yeah, and try not to be distracted by his Hogan's Heroes jacket. He really is a smart
I know nothing.
He does kind of remind me of
he does.
Right?
Colonel Clink.
He does. Yeah, Colonel Clink.
No, Hogan.
He reminds you of Hogan, yeah.
All right, let's continue on here, Eric.
Your characterization. I think on the current value of stock options, I think the actual
justice according to the law.
On the current value of stock options, I think the value of that pay package stands at about $100 billion. Are you saying you are relaxed about the value of your future pay package? Your decision to be committed to Tesla for the next 5 years, as long as you are still with us on this planet, is completely independent of pay?
He previously made a joke that he'd be out only if he was dead. Sorry.
It's not independent. So pay is a relevant factor then to your commitment to Tesla?
A sufficient voting control such that I cannot be ousted by activist investors is what matters to me. And I've said this publicly many times. But let's not have this whole thing be a discussion of my alleged pay. It's not a money thing. It's a reasonable control thing over the future of the company, especially if we're building millions, potentially billions of humanoid robots. I can't be sitting there
humanoid robots
and wanting to get tossed out by, for political reasons, by activists. That would be unacceptable. That's all that matters. Now let's move on.
Okay. Well, just one question.
Let's move on.
Well,
so she keeps pressing,
one
and
question
she
before
gets what she
move on to other companies, which is that I wonder if some of what has happened to Tesla in the last few months, did you take it personally?
Yes.
And did it make you regret any of, or think twice about your political endeavors?
See, he thinks everything through, and she can't handle it.
The pause effectively. Beautiful.
It is.
I did what needed to be done. The violent antibody reaction, and I'm not someone who's ever committed violence, and yet massive violence was committed against my companies. Massive violence was threatened against me. Who are these people? Why would they do that? How wrong can they be? They're on the wrong side of history, and that's an evil thing to do. To go and damage some poor innocent person's car, to threaten to kill me. What's wrong with these people? I've not harmed anyone. So something needs to be done about them, and a number of them are going to prison, and they deserve it.
Good.
And more will.
You're referring to the attacks on Tesla showrooms.
That was important.
But I think
yeah. Bullets into showrooms